Welcome everybody, my name is Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way, and what I want to start with today is just to talk about how markets can roll over. I picked this stock, it's a recruitment consultant, this is a daily chart, and the key to this is how this rolled over up here. Notice how the volumes were pathetic up here. Okay, so and then once we break that support, any pullbacks are sold into, and eventually all these pullbacks are sold into until it actually gave way and dropped hard. Recovers, never recovers, hardly 50%, and we get lower highs, lower lows, recovers, gets slammed down, recovers against the 50-day average, down, does wind its way up for a while, but then breaks down, we get another drop, and eventually today we've fallen out the floor. So watch out for this. I've only got RSI on here because I just think it's just keep it simple. Any spikes in the RSI it was sold into, we were divergent. Where were we? That's not a clear divergence. I'll show you that on something else. But just to be aware of that, and other things you can do is you could put the ratios, fib ratios on that range. So we've got a high of 498 on the 3rd of March 23. We dropped hard on October 23. This is the ambush zone. The 61.8% up here. But look how we breach it. That's very, very common. It's common to breach that level, but then we quickly fall under it. So we come into this late March 23 drop zone, and then, as I say, lower lows, low highs, and we've broken down underneath this March the 4th low. Even when we were up here, the pullback to 257, 255, 257 was into a lower ambush zone. So we've got a higher ambush zone up there, we've got a lower ambush zone down there. And so there's various ways in which you can detect that something is up with any market. This could be any market. This could be the FTSE, could be anything. Oil, you name it. So we did see a big spike up here allegedly on the upside, but within a couple of days later we are spinning down again. That could be short covering. All the people who got short up here had to buy their shares back to take their profits. So that could have been a short covering rally up there on the 9th of July. So the reason why I mention that is because we are in one of the most volatile periods of a normal year. So on average, September is the most volatile month every single year. We have got triple witching this Friday. Triple witching is where all the futures, options and bond contracts all switch over into the last quarter of the year. So that adds to volatility as well. So I'm showing you the FTSE because if we are topping out here, if that's a double top and we start closing under, particularly we're 92.5, 92.50 at the moment, if we come down to the 50-day average and close lower and break that support, then this is going to see decent correction. So just be aware of that. Here's a good divergence. We have it's not strict. No, it's not a divergence. Sorry. If that was a higher high in the markets or the higher low in the RSI, that would be divergence. But we didn't achieve that, so you can't technically call that a divergence. I will find a good example soon. So just concentrate on this for a little bit longer. If this is going to topple, let's take that high and This was the most recent dramatic low down there in June, so we've come up quite a long way in that period. If we start to close underneath 92, get concerned, because then we're going to see 91 pretty quick, and if that doesn't hold, then we're going to start to wind our way down. The key neckline in all this is going to be this trend line. So here's the recent high. So we've had a lower high in the FTSE. If we come down and hold this trend line around about the 90, or just under 92, hold it and go back and find 93 plus, then we're bullish. So we're still in bullish territory at this stage, but we are certainly struggling up here. We're seeing a lot more lower closes. Ever since that high on the 22nd of August, we've only seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher closes in the daily. So this is struggling, which is typical this time of year. What the Nasdaq does, the rest of the market tends to follow. So this Nasdaq dropped here in 2nd September, and here we are making new highs. And we are very high RSI now, but that can still carry on. We're not showing severely overbought at the moment. We are just high in the range. So we've got Fed tomorrow, 2 hours before the US market closes. If we close underneath 24k, then expect a retest of 22.5. If we touch 23,950 and hold, then expect to see that to push higher. Where could that go? Let's just find out. Alright, so we're just coming into an extension already here at 24,400. If we break that, we're going to find 25. Any sudden knee-jerk reaction to the Fed, if we do drop back to 24k and hold, then that's a potentially good opportunity to get in and hold that to 25. Otherwise, if we just break 24,400, we are going to find, who knows, maybe we can find that on the day tomorrow. Alright, so US tech market strong, FTSE struggling. Let's have a look at some key stocks. So Prudential, I do like the financial sector at this stage. So we talked about this before. Prudential had a nice wind up, big corrective pattern here, and then went on a very good run. We just recently got close to 1050, popping back to support now. If that support holds, then I think we can go to 11 plus pounds. Any close under the big £10, and that's going to start to really fall back. But there's a lot of support down here around about 9.50, £10. 9.50 would of course be a good level to get in if that holds. And sticking to the financial service sector, Sabre Insurance. So I pay a little bit over the price, over the top. But we're talking about a couple of p. I bought around about the 135. It did drop to 133. Currently just under 140. The fact we had a very nice close on Monday this week, and so far we just pulled back to support there at 137. So I would have thought we would see 145. If all goes well, we should see 145 in the next 2 to 5 days. And if we really start to stretch our legs and we see some build up in the volumes are not what I would want. I would want to see much higher volumes than that. If we see increasing volume, see a close above 145, then we can see 150, potentially 170, 190 as we get into the year end on Sabre Insurance. This is one I've just entered literally today and posted. This is a reinsurance company. Basically, what happens is the insurance companies sell lots and lots of policies, they bag them up, they want to spread their risk, so they pay a premium to organisations like Conduit Re to take some of the risk away, and enables them to sell more policies and take on higher risk. Alright, so this reinsurance company has got 3 touches of this level here. This is like Prudential. I think it was very early this year. This is what Prudential did. So we've seen a move up here to the £3 mark, move back down to 270, back up to these highs. If we this is a decent close here yesterday, so if this holds and as long as we don't close under 270, I'm looking for this to start to close above 310 and wind its way back up to this drop zone. So I'd be quite happy to take this off at 370 on the drop zone if we can do that. If you look at revenue projections, and so this organisation started to come out of COVID. It had a bad year in 22, okay in 23, 24. The projection is for a big increase in income, up to potentially close to $1 billion. So if we only get part of that, then hopefully that will bode well for the share price. The negative news is the last half-year results were poor, so this could easily get revised down. Anyway, even if they can break this recent resistance in their revenue and start to see some of that, then there should be some decent upside in these stocks. At least that's what I'm hoping. Not heard from any of you recently, so I don't know what you're in. I'm in this soft cat. Soon after I bought it, we touched 1648, dropped all the way back down to my entry or under my entry point, and here we are under the resistance. Volumes have been improving. I do need to see this if it's going to have any hope of reaching at least 17. I obviously need to get above that 16, 16 and a half, and sustain move above that 50-day average on Softcat UK stock. Update on IQE. Volumes have been improving. There seems to be these guys have pretty much put themselves up for sale. These are IT chip makers, wafer makers. Volumes are increasing at these lows. So if this little low holds, as long as we don't break that 7.5, if at any time we can get above 8.5, then we may see this recover. This looked all right here. Obviously a severe drop here. Never got above the 50-day average, so there was a big warning sign there. Lower highs, and then we break support, and then it ended up down here. So I've not got much of a sizable position in this. My stop is just underneath these lows, so that's why it's good not to fill your boots with these cheapy stocks. This is a loss-making company, but we did see 18.5p up here in February, and this looked back in May and June. This looked as if that could come and revisit that, but no, failed to do it. So let's see if we can hold 8, get above 8.5 and see some sort of recovery, but the jury is out. I'm in this other cheapie as well, again low volume, small position. Volume has been increasing. We did, soon after I bought it, we saw 8.5p, and here we are down under 4. So unless we get back above 4, then I'll get out and leave it. But yeah, not that long ago, we're up here at 50. So there's lovely lovely move up to 50. Big three-wave correction, but the moment highs are selling and we're seeing lower lows. So this is something that I may have to cut loose. Alright, so I didn't talk about conduit, did I? I did talk about conduit, sorry, apologies. That's it. So got a reasonable stake in financial services at this stage. Let's have a quick look at wheat. Wheat is really trying to hold this 3 touch down here. Volumes have been increasing. Let me sort that volume out. Seeing some decent volume here. If we can get above $5.50, then this could stage some sort of recovery. But I've got a series of lower highs, lower lows. There's a harvest report in last week. Yields have been good, but there are issues to do with farming around different parts of the globe, and obviously the US. Alright, do let me know what stocks you're in. Hope that helps.